Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be testing out a build put together for Wizard by my friend Celine the Avenger. Let's go. So Celine is someone that's been one of my friends in game for quite some time now, and just to quickly mention, I was also super happy to see that my friend Cheryl was in this battle. So this filled me with a little bit more confidence for testing out this build. This was actually the first time that I was testing this build out. Now, Celine, back to him, he is really good in PvP, amazing at builds, and always a challenge to try and beat it at damage in things like challenge dungeons, raids, etc. He's playing Wizard on his ult, I believe, and that's why he wanted me to test this build out on my main character, see if it still works with slightly higher resonance and higher secondaries as well. So my secondaries for this, I've got 5k armor, 5.2k armor pen, 5k potency and 4.3k resistance. So ideally, Celine did mention that this build works better with higher potency. I am always constantly working on my secondary stats. I don't sell any normal gems, as a few of you will know from previous videos where I've explained this. So it'll be interesting to see how this build goes. So you can see the setup of skills we've got here. We have Arcane Wind, we have Teleport, Slow Time, and also Frost Field. So this is a little bit different to what I've been playing in other builds, and this is not the spam slow time build. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. One thing that I will mention is that on mobile especially, sometimes I struggle. My screen doesn't always seem to register exactly where I'm placing skills, so I do sometimes struggle with these builds that require you to actually place a specific skill on someone or in a certain area, because sometimes I can drag that skill and it's just not actually registering that I'm dragging it, and it's just literally launching that skill, which can be really frustrating when you're trying to play it. But I wanted to test this build out. I've got a couple of other builds that I want to test. As you know, I really want to test out one of Orof's builds in Battleground as well, to see if that is any better. Obviously, some of these builds work for certain players because they might have specific secondaries, they might have specific legendary gems. So I do have most of the legendary gems that Celine wanted me to try in this build. I don't have Viper's Bite because I'm using Seeping Bile instead. Personally, I would prefer to actually have Viper's Bite, but I don't currently have enough gem power to reawaken my rank 10 one. So that's something I'll be looking at doing at a later date as well, if I can get enough gem power just stored up, ready to use for that. Now, I'm not going to go into build info for this video. I just wanted to show you how it is working as a 5k resonance player with 5k secondaries as well. A lot of people seem to think that my resonance is higher, but my secondaries aren't. I mean, I think 5k secondaries is pretty high compared to a lot of other players. Obviously, I'm not a crazy high resonance player, so I don't have super high resonance or super high secondaries. But I think 5k resonance and 5k secondaries is quite a comfortable place to be in PvP. And this is why I wanted to test this build out, to see if it works on a slightly higher resonance player as well as a low resonance player. Because obviously, as a lot of people will know, if you are kind of up to about 1.5k resonance, you generally match with people that are same resonance as you. Whereas if you're 3k resonance and higher, you generally will match with anyone, which is why I sometimes get these crazy matches against sort of like 8k plus resonance people with crazy high secondaries as well. So yeah, as I said, I'm not going to go into build info, but I will just mention a few set items. So for this setup, we're using 4 Grace, 2 Virtus and 2 Barons. Normally in PvP, I go for Endwinter or Angmets alongside Grace, and sometimes 2 pieces of Barons, so like 2 Barons, 4 Grace and 2 Endwinter, or 4 Angmets, 4 Grace, 4 Endwinter, 4 Grace. That's generally the setup that I go for with my set items. So this was a little bit different today to what I'm used to. Obviously, having Endwinter in this would give a little bit more freeze as well. So that's one thing that I would say could potentially work really nicely. And I am using Chipperstone Flesh in this setup. I think I'd probably do better with More of the Deep instead. I don't have a copy of More of the Deep that's ranked up, but I do sometimes use that as an auxiliary gem inside Chipperstone Flesh. I just feel like Chipperstone Flesh within this build would work better if I had a little bit more CC than I do. So obviously using the Terminus Facade Helm, which is not what I've got in this setup. In this setup, I'm using Ephemeral Visage, but using Terminus Facade with the Arcane Wind and Frostfield, and then if you're also using the Endwinter set, you basically have a constant freeze and constant CC, so that actually triggers chip really nicely. Whereas this, I think, would work better definitely if I had that Viper's Bite as well as the Seeping Bile. so that I have more chances of poison. I know that previously when I've had Seeping Bile and Viper's Bite in my PvP builds, it gives you a really good advantage, especially with higher potency, because obviously you have that two effects of poison, as well as having the burn effect from Roiling Consequence. So then you've got 3 damage over time effects in your build. So potentially, once I have the gem power to rank up Viper's Bite, I would definitely do that and use that in this build instead. And I'd want to retest it and see if I can get a better result from it. As you can see in this battle, I'm not really getting many kills. That's kind of a common thing for me now. I generally always just get the assists. So normally loads of assists and like 1 or 2 kills. That just seems to be how it is for wizards now. I'm guessing because we don't always deal as much damage or as fast damage as a lot of other classes. Obviously Tempest generally is top for Battleground all the time, and that's because their DPS is so fast, their damage is so quick, their attacks are so quick. Originally it used to be Demon Hunter that was in that position, and then obviously Barbarian until that was nerfed slightly. So it's interesting to see how the dynamics have changed in Battleground and who is on top now, and obviously attack speed from different classes as well. I really wish Wizard could have a really fast primary attack. I used for a while Shalbas for this to actually increase my primary attack speed, and that did work quite nicely in primary based PvP builds, but obviously you're then missing out on being able to use other set items that actually may be more beneficial. So it's one of those things, it swings and roundabouts. You kind of have to swap things up and test lots of different things as you go. So there is just over a minute left for this battle. We're managing to hold everyone off quite nicely at the moment, but we're nowhere near the kills that we need, and I'm struggling with dying here in this match. I think maybe because I'm not having so much freeze as I would normally, it makes it a little bit harder, to actually escape from the damage. And it's nice to actually try these builds. I enjoy trying different things out. I didn't do too awful with this, I don't think, considering it's not a build that I'm used to, and this was my first attempt trying it in Battleground. I actually did 3 matches with it overall, and for each match I did pretty well with the assists. I think I was top for the assists in all 3 matches, which is a nice place to be. Obviously it would be better if it's kills, but like I said, Wizard doesn't seem to be awarded many kills in Battleground anymore. It seems to generally be more assists than anything else. So we have 18 seconds left in this match. Thankfully we're getting more support from our team on this side, trying to get away here to bandage. But yeah, this player is still coming towards me. I really want to take them down because I can't get far away enough from them to actually use my bandage. There we go, taking them down, and time is up. And thankfully that was a victory for our team. So let's see how we did with this new build. So you can see I had 15 assists, 3 deaths and 4 kills. My friend Cheryl was top, showing total girl power there. So this was the top player on the other team. So 6.8k armor and 5.6k resonance. So crazy amount of armor there. That's the player that we managed to take down at the end. This person was also super fast at killing us. So they've got 3.6k resonance, 4k armor and 5.7k armor pen. So not too bad. We're getting closer to gold. I've not done many matches this season, but at least this was another victory and one step closer to gold. And yeah, that's it from me for this video. I hope you found it helpful. And as always, let me know your thoughts if you want me to post a breakdown of this build, so it's something that you can try as well. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Official Diablo partner.